whined Elon, maniacally squealing that construction is...
Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
As an attorney who is also a Christian, I take my responsibilities as a lawyer very seriously, and I endeavor to be a person of sound moral and ethical character in all of my dealings. In the wake of the 2020 presidential election, I believed that challenging the results on behalf of President Trump should be pursued in a just and legal way. I endeavored to represent my client to the best of my ability. I relied on others, including lawyers with many more years of experience than I, to provide me with true and reliable information, especially since my role involved speaking to the media and to legislators in various states. What I did not do, but should have done, Your Honor, was to make sure that the facts the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true. In the frenetic pace of attempting to raise challenges to the election in several states, including Georgia, I failed to do my due diligence.
Rudy, you're next. That's who she's talking about there. I relied on the senior lawyers. I relied on the old lawyers. I relied on the elderly lawyers. I relied on Rudy. And I didn't do any due diligence. I didn't, and it's just so fascinating because, Sidney Powell pled guilty now. Rudy's got to be next, right? He has to be next. But Donald Trump does exactly what Donald Trump does. He actually, when Sidney Powell pled guilty, he said, I don't know her. She was not my lawyer. She was not my lawyer. What is that?
There was a plan from a centralized place to execute these various acts of voter fraud, specifically focused on big cities.
I think that's Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, and Rudy Giuliani as the lawyers, as Donald Trump's lawyers. I know I have a cut of them actually saying that they are, but I don't know which one it is. So anyway, it's pretty amazing. He just doesn't know them. He never saw them, or maybe Jenna Ellis isn't his type. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But obviously, these are his lawyers. And his ex-lawyer, Michael Cohen, who was his lawyer for the fraud portion of his indictments, is testifying against him right now. Right now.
Poor Jenna Ellis, man.
What do you mean, poor Jenna Ellis?
She's on the verge of tears, Randy.
She should be crying.
Clearly, this is...
She should.
Yeah, that wasn't a performance at all. She's very upset.
With herself.
Yeah.
I mean, the lying that she's doing right there about, I didn't do my due diligence. I just believed them because they were so senior and because they were so, Rudy and they were so Sidney. And I just, but you know who really is also on those stages? You know who's part of this group, this legal group that you never hear them getting, indicted or. You remember Joseph and what's her face, DeGeneva, the husband and the wife? They were there too, but I never hear their name mentioned. And Cleta Mitchell, she was on that freaking phone call with Georgia the whole time that Donald Trump was saying, can you find me? I just need 11,870 votes, just one more than Joe Biden had. Cleta Mitchell is hosting that call. I don't know how, I don't know why. I'm guessing they've already given information that the prosecution found useful and helpful, that they proffered, and so they weren't indicted. That's all I can guess about them, because those people, first of all, Cleta and the DeGenevas, I'm a senior, okay? So I remember them being involved in the Clinton crap, okay? In the Whitewater stuff and in the Clinton, he had an affair kind of stuff. I mean, these are super uber dug in right-wing lawyers. I mean, it's the ultra uber right-wing of the legal community that has now made its way all the way up to the Supreme Court. Okay, but that's who these people are, the DeGenevas and the Sidney Powells. Poor Jenna, I don't even know how she got involved with these people, okay? All I could tell you is I think she was like a deputy assistant attorney, for a local Colorado County. I think she did like traffic violations. And how she got involved in all this, I don't know. But she was all about it for the longest until she got indicted. And now it's a RICO charge. It's all becoming very clear to her that people are flipping and that good deals are, kind of no longer available because the top 4 have already flipped. And this is a RICO charge, okay? This is a racketeering, influence, corrupt organization charge. This one in Fulton County, Georgia. This has, different parts of the organization, different parts of a crime, a conspiracy to commit election fraud. It has everything to do with the fake electors, which is what Cheese Bro actually pled guilty to. Aiding and abetting false documents to come into, the official capacity of the state legislatures and our legislature and all that stuff. So you have him pleading to that. You have Sidney Powell pleading to the Coffee County, breaching of actual voting machines. And why did they do it in a Republican county? Because they thought a Republican county would be friendly to them and that they could seize machines and then pretend that they had found something really untoward going on the machine in Coffee County and tell the world, you see, we were right. They were flipping votes. So they needed access to machines. And just short of what Michael Flynn was advocating for, which was martial law and seizing the machines, also stuff Sidney Powell was in meetings about. Sidney Powell knew about the martial law thing, and to tell you the truth, Sidney Powell, who's now a guilty defendant, was going to be the special counsel. Donald Trump wanted to name her special counsel to look at the voting fraud. I mean, do you know how close we came to, imploding? And still, there are parts of our country that are imploding, and there are parts of this country that wants to explode certain other parts of this country. I mean, it's really, it's unbelievable what's going on. It's truly stunning. But as they plead guilty, Donald Trump is getting more and more agitated and more delusional to the point where he said yesterday he was never indicted. Do you know that?
Mr. President, you said Sidney Powell wasn't your attorney. Are you concerned that you won't be covered by attorney-client privilege?
No, not at all. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing. This is all Biden. Indictments and impeachments, and this is all about Biden. He can't do anything right. The only thing they know how to do is cheat on elections and election fraud. This is all Biden stuff. All of these indictments that you see. I was never indicted. Practically never heard the word. It wasn't a word that registered.
I was never indicted. The question to him was, are you concerned that Sidney Powell, since there's a crime fraud exception to attorney-client privilege, and she just pled guilty to crimes, aren't you concerned that now the attorney-client privilege that you enjoyed with her is pierced? No, I did nothing wrong. I wasn't even indicted. This is all Biden's indictment. What are you saying? You saying that you have formed your own government? You're running a shadow because it really does feel like that. It really does look like that. It really does sound like that. And it really does appear that there are certain people in our Congress who are loyal to Donald Trump's shadow government. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.